Hello there, lovers of the tarot and searchers of truth. So, um, the Emperor has been coming up a lot in my readings, in my life. It came up just recently for the new moon as well, and I just thought I wanted to share a little bit of information about what's been coming up through different interactions with this card. I've definitely been sitting and working with this card a lot in the last few years, just because there seems to be in the collective, and definitely me in the personal as well, uh, a call for a connection to the powerful masculine that the emperor represents. So a lot of people will see the emperor as really stern and rigid and rah, and a little bit sort of authoritarian, which definitely is. Strong authority figure, very much controlling a lot of Mars and Aries energy. So there's a lot of fire here, and there's a lot of sort of stern masculine control dynamic. And since in the world this has historically been an issue, and since in everybody's individual lives, or a lot of people's individual lives, there's always been some encounter with the twisted version of this card, where authority has pushed itself too far, control is an order is starting to create too much chaos, and because the ego is too involved, and because we are fighting for personal gain, and we are trying to dominate and consolidate our power and be the more powerful one in a group of lots of individuals fighting for personal power. And so in the masculine dynamic, this leads to war, this leads to fighting, this leads, and historically we see this conflict and this combat as being something as negative as wrong. And so the energy of the masculine is very easily judged, it's very easily wronged, because of the extremes of how this dominating outward focus of masculine power has manifested in the past and in history and in our personal lives. And so our natural taught way of reacting to this is to lock it away. Oh, that you did something wrong, that man did something wrong, that somebody tried to exert their control and manipulate the world around them, and that's not right, that's wrong. And we kind of lock it away, like we do in a jail or a prison system, where we lock away the offender, and we lock away a lot of the time our connection to that masculine at the same time. We do that, and we then create a lack of that positive masculine control and dominance when it's needed, because a little bit of order, a little bit of direction, a little bit of strong, stern, wise control is needed in our life. It's needed in those moments when we feel our lives are a little bit chaotic. But when we've locked him away, when we've judged him, when we've thrown away the key to the connection between that masculine, because it's obviously been so wrong and bad in the past, and look at all these examples, then we'll find ourselves lacking some of this inner authority. We'll find ourselves lacking the beautiful wisdom that this man has. We'll find ourselves lacking the ability to actively control our choices, the ability to choose to do something different, the ability to stand up and fight for ourselves, the ability to be strong and confident in what we know is true for us. We'll lack the ability of perseverance sometimes. We'll lack a little bit of consistency. We'll lack order and structure, will lack that planning power that this man has, because he knows, he's old enough to know what works in a step-by-step basis, and how he can structure our lives in a way to bring us what is beneficial for us. So when we lock this part of ourselves away, we'll quite often have big reactions to his reversed reflection and mirror in the world, and we'll have these negative reactions towards the masculine in different ways, and how the masculine is making mistakes in this way and that way, and how it's all messed up and it's all wrong, and we'll find those strong judgments thrown out there. But part of our healing journey requires us to own that positive masculine. And if we feel a little bit of resistance to this card when it comes up, if we feel he's difficult to connect to, then question our own connection to how much we are able to hold space for ourselves, how much we are able to stand up and fight for what we know is right. How twisted is that fight sometimes? How much do we fight when we don't need to? Because he only fights when he needs to. He knows how to avoid a fight at the best of times. He is old and wise. How much power do we have over our choices, or how much are we stuck in old habits? How able are we to really initiate new habits and initiate discipline and control, and in a more ordered, structured way in our life? Not that this needs to be the only way we interact with ourselves and the world around us, but it is one powerful force which we need to be able to assimilate and embody in our lives. And if we can't, we're going to find ourselves reacting in very strong negative ways, and maybe even attracting more experiences of twisted masculine energy coming into our life. So when it does, it's come to show us, hey, there's something inside of you which you can do better, or we can do better. And yeah, in this world, the masculine has not always been a great example of its higher power and higher control and strong, positive, confident understanding about where to go, where to focus, and how to do it. So finding that, asking those questions, trying our best not to judge ourselves or judge the world on the outside, is going to be part of the journey when this card comes up in its twisted format. Love to hear your comments about the masculine, because yeah, it's an ongoing story. It's an ongoing lesson for a lot of us, me included. And yeah, I'm super interested to hear anybody's experience. Have a fantastic day.